Master Reddit, subscribe for more videos.
Former gamers of Reddit, what was the reason you stopped playing video games altogether, or a lot less frequently? Having 800 other tasks to do a day. Hashtag growing up sucks. That sums up all my hobbies. From what my wife tells me, gaming isn't a hobby. Exactly. It's a way of life. I'm sure that's what she was saying. 50-plus-year-old here. Oddly enough, you get time back once you get a bit older. Kids take care of themselves, or are off to college, their own lives. You've hopefully got the career work/life balance settled by then. I'm playing Fallout 4 now. I finished beta a couple weeks ago. I played a silly amount of Let's Go Pikachu. I had a gap in my late 20s-40s while I was in career mode, more active, but things are settled now. You come back to it. Finally got an 8 to 5 job. Gotta wake up at 5:30 a.m. so I go to bed at hopefully by 9. After getting home, cooking and cleaning up the kitchen, I've got maybe an hour or two of free time before bed. I'd rather read, relax, or chill than dive into a game. I'm looking to shut my brain off essentially after work. I try to squeeze in gaming on the weekends, but it always seems to magically be 4 p.m. Sunday before I get around to finding the chance to play a game. Get in a few hours at most on the weekends. Saturday morning games. That's what I do, wake up at 7 a.m., make my coffee, scrambled eggs, toast, and then couple of hours of game time before anyone wakes up. Depression made me uninterested in gaming for a while. I wanted to play, and I'd sit down trying to get into a game, but I just couldn't bring myself to enjoy it. Edit. Damn, I wish I had some kind of advice for people feeling the same way, but I really don't. It just took time for me to feel normal again. I'm sure that's a shit piece of advice, but I don't have much else to offer. Yep, this right here. It's the #1 reason I can tell when I fall into a depression, when you don't even have the motivation to do something that would otherwise bring you enjoyment. Edit. I'm not a psychiatrist, so I can't say for certain if you're depressed or not, but I know personally that anhedonia is a symptom of my depression. I highly recommend you talk to a medical professional about your depression symptoms. Working and living in an area with only enough internet power to watch a YouTube video at 144p. Same here. I move back home every summer for college and there is terrible satellite internet there. I do very little gaming except for single-player games. Single-player games don't have the same addiction level as multiplayer games, I find. Work mainly, and I've also gotten old in that I find it hard to get into modern games. They either require too much lead-in time or I don't have the time to dedicate to getting good at. I'd love to have a LAN Age of Empires battle again, those were the days. Edit. Madre de Dios, this resonated with a lot of people. Nice to see I'm not alone. Community of O2 is still very active, visit r/O2. No idea why all of you are complaining about 2 good players. Just play with friends against AI or something, FFS. The problem with that, or trying to do multiplayer matches in any game that's more than 6 months old, is that the only people still playing it are people who are incredibly good at it. My brothers and I jumped on Halo MCC the other day because we were feeling nostalgic. We ended up doing local matches most of the time because every online match was a bloodbath. It's not fun when you're spending more of the match waiting to respawn than you are actually playing. No, what I really want is a LAN party of Halo, or other games with people who, like me, don't have time or interest in practicing it constantly and are just feeling nostalgic for it. Precisely. There should be a community made up of shitty gamers. We all play those nostalgic games, but we're all shit at them now. The Discord channel I made for my friends is called Mediocre Gamers for precisely that reason. LOL. We'll play LOL, modded Minecraft, all usually with enough people that we don't need to go against other players, although in LOL we've been pretty consistently in the 4 to 6 player range nowadays. Unfortunately not enough for a 5v5 custom. So we just pour a few drinks, mute the other team, and fail horribly. We haven't done Halo MCC yet, but that'd be a ton of fun, I'd imagine. They ate up way too much of my time. I still love gaming, but I realized that sitting in front of a PC all day every day was making me fat, unhealthy, and miss out on so many of the things I should have been doing, both with responsibilities and also with life in general. I still jump in now and then for an hour or two occasionally, but the free time equals game time way of thinking had to come to an end, and my life is better because of it. I agree. I started seeing others make drastic changes with their lives by dedicating their time to doing other things. A friend of mine who was really into League of Legends was practically Diamond/Challenger level, no masters at the time, Lee Sin player. He stopped, sold his account and went to train. He's won several awards in Taekwondo competitions and become an IRL Diamond/Challenger level Lee Sin. He's been a huge motivator for me to follow, though I don't dedicate hardly as much time as he does into fitness. So for me, fitness motivation pushed me. More time at the gym, less time gaming, and it helped me feel more confident and positive with myself. Very true about the free time equals game time. I felt like when I was younger hanging out equals playing video games, but now that's almost never the case. That's because we didn't have anything else to do. We'd play ping pong and then play video games all night. That's what we did, lol. We weren't partying yet. Maybe didn't have cars, or money for gas, maybe parents didn't want us out past a certain hour. In college we were waiting on the party to start, playing in between studying, etc. Once you are in adult life, there are literally hundreds of things you could be doing that doesn't include sitting in your house. Takes a long time to realize that though, if you grew up with gaming as much as some of us did. Mostly a lack of mental energy. I find it on my day off from work and chores and errands and etc. I don't want to do stuff that engages that much of my brain. I might just have to get into dumber games. I tend to enjoy the resource management /puzzle /open world type games that make you juggle a lot of info for crafting and which way to proceed. I started drawing and couldn't spend 12 hours a day staring at my laptop anymore. It was too tiring. I want to take illustration really seriously, but I spend 75% of my time sleeping, working, or at school, and the other 25% I spend playing video games to escape how shitty it all is. Maybe your comment will give me some motivation to cut back on gaming to do something I've always dreamed of doing. Professional artist here. I realized it was either play video games all day or make work. I chose work. Also, having 2 kids definitely didn't help. I haven't played a video game in 5 years. I used to be in a world-ranked WoW guild back in the day. I played a lot of games. I think in most cases this can be answered by falling into one of 2 categories. They don't have enough time to play anymore, growing up, other priorities now. They feel the quality of content in games has dropped and they are much less enjoyable. This is me right now. Every game I was excited for in 2018 has been a huge letdown. Red Dead was the one exception to that. Holy shit, single player was so good. But my friends and I were so goddamn excited to play online together, but man, they dropped the fucking ball on that one. It's so bad. Probably my biggest disappointment of the year. Anywho, I've been playing 10-year-old games lately. Fallout 76 was so bad I restarted Fallout New Vegas. Then I hopped over to the Metro series. Then I played Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I just started Dragon Age Origins this weekend, and so far I'm thoroughly enjoying that at the moment. But man, gaming sucks now. This games as a service bullshit can blow me. AKA release an unfinished buggy pile of shit and then hopefully in 6 months to a year it gets better. Lost interest like many because of IRL demands and wanting to do more with my time. Also got kinda creeped out by the whole gamer lifestyle that has continued to worsen. But the biggest thing that made me put down the controller was, I felt like my entire life was anger. Listen to the news on the way to work, rage. Do my job, rage. Check social media, rage. News on the way home, somehow worse than the morning, rage. Play competitive video games into the night, rage. Everything was this constant anger cycle, and I had to make some pretty big changes all over my life to be happier. The last time I played a video game was December. The reason was I realized I hated half the games I had, but more so I did a massive tidy out and realized I could do better things with my time. That eventuated into just sleeping way more often. People who are giving me good reasons to quit playing games. My life genuinely is better now. I play less, only when I've got a group of friends online to play with, never alone. As Steven slowly set down the controller, he thought to himself, perhaps the greatest level up comes from within? He stepped out the doorway into the sun and took a big breath of air. Achievement unlocked, breaking the habit. Edit, achievement unlocked, a stranger kind of gold. I stopped when I realized the ratio feeling of joy and accomplishment / time investment of video game was far inferior to the one of my other hobbies. This so much. I used to game at least 3 to 4 hours per day, but after living abroad for 6 months I realized I only gamed because I had nothing else to do, which gave me satisfaction. I also can't game in moderation. When I like a game it has to completely takes over my life, which is a pretty unhealthy habit. I guess I finally discovered how much real life actually has to offer. I will still game occasionally for the rest of my life, but gaming maybe a few hours a week will keep it fresh and fun. It might also just be that my interests have changed, but when I play a game too much I just get depressed. Nowadays this can't be life. I'm just wasting my limited time here on Earth by doing this. Gaming often started feeling like a chore and like work, especially because I was so into MMOs. I learned everything you do is a sacrifice to something else. For example, if I played video games for 10 hours on a Sunday, that's 8 hours I could have used to accomplish or learn something. I like video games and still play them, but I don't want my greatest accomplishment in life 100%ing a game. I love playing guitar, learning languages, and reading far more. As is tradition, thanks for the gold kind stranger. The official term is opportunity cost, the loss of potential gain from other alternatives when one alternative is chosen. You made an example in time investment, play a video game for 10 hours on Sunday, instead of using that 10 hours on something else. I am proud of your enlightenment on the time management. Life is too short to learn and enjoy other productive tasks. I learned everything you do is a sacrifice to something else. For example, if I played video games for 10 hours on a Sunday, that's 8 hours I could have used to accomplish or learn something. I recently quit CSGO, over 3,000 hours, for the same reason I've quit other lifestyle games such as Overwatch, Rocket League, Rainbow Six Siege. They consume way too much of my free time. I would come in from work and can spend hours on end playing them without really anything to show for it. If I'd spent that much time doing something more productive like playing guitar, then I'd at least be pretty good at guitar by the end of it. But being good at games is pretty unimpressive to most people and isn't really transferable out of the game. I still intend to play games, recently started Resident Evil 4, but with single-player games there's no pressure to be locked into an ongoing match and I have more control over how much time I spend in it. Also, and in my opinion more importantly, I find these lifestyle kind of games have a negative effect on my mental state. Whilst I've never resorted to the casual racism that's rampant in these environments, I have found myself at least partially falling victim to the quick to anger and blame everyone that isn't me mentality. For example, in Overwatch, someone on the team always gets scapegoated for the entire team's failure, usually the DPS. I've found that even out with games I had become more self-centered and had a shorter temper. So for those reasons I quit. I had quit before and came back, but after I came back I fell right back into the old mindset, so I think it's best that I just avoid them altogether. The fact that you can say lifestyle game and I know what you're talking about is why I became a filthy casual. This whole trend to morphs and battle royals has taught me that I'm not the target audience anymore, and my attempts to play them anyway have taught me that I'm okay with that. Edit. Apparently filthy casual is a specific thing that I am not. I'm the guy who stops playing the instant a game stops being fun and starts adding any amount of stress to my non-gaming time. These check-in everyday type games, Fortnite, before it became a BR76 with its limited time and events and unlockables, aren't for me. I play a couple hours on the weekend if I'm lucky. I stopped playing video games around 2012, 21, because everything just felt the same to me. Everything seemed like some version of Call of Duty, Gears of War, or Batman Arkham Asylum. Rocket League did bring me back though. Other person pointed out some indie games, but I'll suggest a few as well to at least check out. Slime Rancher, very cheerful and not too difficult, especially since you can remove the main thread entirely in one mode. First-person POV, but I'd call it a FPS as it's more of a farming, or really, ranching, game. Made to cheer up people. Darkest Dungeon, 2D side-scrolling dungeon crawler where you can pick various classes of heroes and pit them against the horrors of the various locales. Not exactly a horror game, but very difficult. Losing heroes is incredibly common. Subnautica, first-person base building and survival game. Also kinda horror. If you have thalassophobia, I'd count to help. Very fun, but has a long loading time to load the world, but very pretty yet spooky. Not exactly indie, but No Man's Sky, flopped at launch, but redeemed itself well, I thought. You fly through space exploring and discovering planets. You can follow the storyline or not, it's up to you. It's a tad hard to get into, but pretty fun if you aren't interested in much combat. Edit. People seem to like this, so I'll add more. Enter the Gungeon. Difficult gun-based roguelike. Top-down gameplay. An absolute ton of unlockables and pun-based items and guns to find. Very fun, rather challenging. I'd recommend getting it on the PS4, Xbox, or PC as the Switch has issues. The last update just released the last week or so it's done except for future bug fixes. Stardew Valley, very popular and calm farming based, but not necessarily only farming, game. Well known and has a pretty good community. You can take things at your own pace, as there is very little rush if any at all. Want to mine for multiple days? Sure. Just make sure to get sleep in at your house. Shovel Knight, platformer game with 4 campaigns so far with individual storylines. Challenging and fun with good music. You can play through as Shovel Knight, who has the highest jumps but is the basic character. Plague Knight, who has bombs and essentially a triple jump, but the third requires charging. Spectre Knight, who is more acrobatic but makes more use of it. King Knight, I haven't played it yet. Edit 2, any others I add, will be under here. Astroneer, not played it myself, but it looks cool. It is a planet-based building and exploration game where you can build and connect all sorts of planet bases and explore deep caves and many planets in your randomly generated solar system to get more blueprints and resources and places to build. RimWorld, heard good things about it, yet have never seen it or played it. Seems to be a difficult Sims Plus base builder that is you deal with things like sanitation, sanity, and animal tameness. Also human leather hats. That's all I know. Wizard of Legend, top-down roguelike where you play as a wizard and collect powerful, and sometimes cursed, artifacts and spells to defeat the head wizard to prove yourself. Very fun and fast-paced. An example of a spell artifact combo might be the Frost Dagger and Silvertop. The Frost Dagger is a fast-thrusting, ice element attack that moves you forward slightly. The Silvertop decreased casting time and decreased walking speed. I was flying around with how fast I was casting Frost Dagger, but couldn't walk normally whatsoever. Also, you can't fall into pits unless you get pushed into one or dash into one. Terraria, no. It's not 2D Minecraft. It has the Minecraft block placing, but that's where the similarities end. Build whatever you want in a large 2D world with a variety of caves and dungeons to explore as well as treasure to find. A huge amount of crafting, magic, guns, weapons, armor, decor, and more make for many playstyles. Also essentially Cthulhu is here, too, because why not? If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button and comment below letting me know. It helps the channel and lets me create more content just like this. If you do like this type of content, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss an upload.